Hey everyone, Anthony Melchiori here, and today we will be discussing how to start investing. One thing to note, I won't be talking about self-investments or trading today, since I'll discuss that in more detail in a later video. So before we get into the how, let's ask the why. And to keep things simple on why we want to invest, we basically want to use the money we have and any skills we have to make more money. That's it. The thought process should basically be, we're sending our money to go make money for us. We're sending our money to go work. So I'm sure that idea sounds pretty good for everyone. But how do you know when you're ready? How do you know you're able to start investing? The first thing you're gonna need to know if you're ready to invest is a surplus of money. So if you're just making ends meet or living check by check, it's not gonna work out. If you have to get a second job, if you have to work overtime, start a side business for a side income, win the lotto, however you have to do it, you're gonna need to make more money to have a surplus. If getting a second job or another source of income right now isn't possible due to a lack of time or whatever your situation is, your next step would be to start saving money and just, cut out some expenses. I know if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you probably already thought about this, but it's time to get serious and cut out something you don't need. Maybe you can't go out to eat. Maybe you can't go to the movies anymore. Whatever it is with you, you had to figure out something that you could live without and cut it out. You're gonna need to make money, and this isn't just for investing. This is just to get out of the rat race. This is just to survive and be prosperous in the future. So once you figure out how you're going to get that extra cash, whether it's from a second source of money or savings, or hey, maybe you won the lotto, whatever it is, you're going to pay yourself at a minimum of 10% first. And I'm sure you've heard a lot of this, pay yourself first. A lot of smart investors always say this. And what you're doing is basically, you're taking money before you pay for anything else and you're saying, hey, I'm going to put this on the side for me. That's basically investment money right there, because you're investing money into yourself. You're saying, I'm smart enough with this money, I'm going to put it on the side and I'm going to make it work for me. I'm going to use it to do something good. And this money isn't going to go to, hey, I'm paying myself first and then I'm going to pay the rent with it, or hey, I'm paying myself first, now I'm going to go buy a new car. No, this is investment money, all right? At minimum 10%, put it to the side. Don't touch it, all right? Now that you started paying yourself first at 10% at minimum, hopefully better, but let's say 10% for now. The first thing I suggest you take that cash and do is make a savings, and not just an ordinary savings. This is going to be an emergency fund. Depending on who you ask, depending on who you talk to, they're going to tell you a certain amount of time you should have this for. A lot of the big names or like papers say probably 6 months. That can be hard to do depending on if you're going from paycheck to paycheck to, hey, now save up 6 months of expenses. That's not something you could do overnight. That's not something that's going to happen really quick unless there's a drastic change. So depending on your situation, things such as if you have other people relying on you, if you have a family, if you have a kid, whether you're renting a house or living in a paid off house, whether you're renting a car, whether you own a car, whether your job is secure or you just got this job, or you just got a promotion. Depending on your situation, it's going to depend differently for everyone, but only you could really decide how much emergency funds you really need. If things are going good, if you're a young kid, maybe you live with your family, live with your parents, or you have a steady job and things are going good for you, you could start off maybe with like a month or two and then start investing. But keep building that up. Keep building the emergency fund up while you invest, but don't wait till you have 6 months and then you say, oh, now I could finally start investing, because who knows how long that could take. That could be a year and a half from now, and by that time, you've wasted so much. You wasted a lot of compounding interest right there. So once you figured out the amount of an emergency fund you should have, and you have a surplus of cash coming in, whether it's, like I said, second job or saving more money, and you don't see any financial crises coming in the future, such as your wife's pregnant, or I don't know, you think your car is gonna break down. Obviously, you won't know everything, but once you're semi-stable, and like I said, once you're not living paycheck to paycheck, it'll be a lot easier. But once you're semi-stable, now's the time to start investing. A big question for beginners, though, is what are they gonna invest in? What do they do now? You know, they know they want to invest. They have the money now. They've seen all the success stories, or they've been told from certain friends who are investing, but they don't know what's right for them. So the first thing that pops into a lot of people's minds when they think about investing is stocks, which they wouldn't be wrong. Stocks is a part of investing, but there are many different other ways to invest and ways to put your money to good use. I like to break them down into 3 different categories, and you have to figure out which one and which subcategory of that category is best for you. So the first type of investing is called ownership investing. This is when you're going to buy an asset that you feel is going to gain value or is going to bring a cash flow back to you. Ownership investing includes buying things such as stocks, real estate, rare items, funds, businesses, with the hopes of it bringing in more money for you, or, like I said, increasing in value. With stocks, you're buying a stake in the company. Basically, that means you're becoming a owner of the company. Depending on how much stocks you own, you could become main owner of the company, or usually how most people do it, a small portion of the company, where, you know, if they're doing good, you're doing good. If the company does bad, your stock is going to do bad. And what you're hoping is that it's going to increase in value, saying they're going to start making profits, or they're going to grow, or just the stock is going to increase in value because more people will want it. Or you're investing in a established stock or an established business, and you buy the stock such as Coca-Cola, Verizon, anything that's going to give out a dividends, and then the stock or the company is going to pay you in dividends. So that's going to create a cash flow. So if you put a lot of money into, let's say, AT&T, they're going to give you a dividend for being part of it every quarter usually. Each business is different on how often they give the dividends, but you can figure all that information out online. With real estate, it's the same idea. When you buy a home or an apartment, you're hoping that it's going to go up in value, saying maybe like the town around it becomes more popular, or the place it's located just becomes more of a hot commodity. The value of that place that you own is going to start to increase. Or instead of dividends, if you rent it out, people will basically pay you rent. So same idea, you're creating a cash flow from something you own. With rare items such as art, metals, collectibles, since they're so rare and scarce, when you buy into that, you're usually going to hold on to it for a period of time, and you're going to let the value increase. As the rarer it becomes, or the older, or, like I said, scarce, that product is going to increase, and then one day you could either sell it or you could just always hold on to it. With business, I'm sure everyone watching knows how that works. You own something and it's going to create money for you, and it could also go up in value. But when I say business, it doesn't have to be a storefront business or a huge company, or it could be something as little as a vending machine in a store, where you own that vending machine, and anyone who uses it puts in the $1 or $2 to get their drink or their candy bar. You're creating a cash flow for yourself. So you're basically, you refill it once, twice, every week or every other week, and you're gonna get profit from that. So you created a business. Another type of investing is called lending investing. That's basically where you act as a bank and you lend money with the expectation that you're going to get the money back with interest on top of it. With lending investments, you have lower risk, lower reward ones available to you, such as CDs and bonds, which are determine the interest you're going to make by how long you have the bond or CD for. There's also websites available such as Prosper and Lending Club, where you can actually, like I said, act like a bank, where you lend money out to people, and I mean, you'll see all their causes and why they need the money. You'll see their credit score, and the website will actually determine a grade basically from A to like F on how risky the investment is, and you pay it out in $25 increments. So you're not gonna put all your money into one person. Basically, you could pick 100 people and give $25 each, and you're gonna get the money back over usually like 3 to 5 year period with interest on top of that. This is gonna be a little bit riskier, but the reward will be a lot greater. The last category I break investing into is self-investing, but we're not gonna get into that today. We're gonna break that down next week in next week's video. So now that you have a gist of all the different investing methods, you have to ask yourself, which one am I going to choose? Which one is best for me? And unfortunately, I can't really help you out with that. I can't give a definitive answer without knowing the person individually. And even though I might think one is better for you, one investing method is good, you might not have interest in that investing method, or you might not put in the skill needed for that, and it won't work out then. So you had to figure out what you enjoy, what you don't mind learning about, what is best for you, and go from there. I could give you some guidelines though and help you out as much as possible. And the top 2 things you could probably do when you're looking to start investing, besides take the steps to be ready to invest, is do your research. Never listen to what anyone says, always do your own research. If you listen to everyone blindly, you're gonna get yourself in trouble. If you ever heard the expression, blinds lead the blind, there's a reason, So don't listen to anyone 100%. Always commit your own research. And then talk to a financial advisor. They could always give you great help, great advice. But like I said, after you listen to them, continue to do your own research and figure out what's best for you. One thought you could think about is how aggressive you're willing to be with this. So usually younger people are more aggressive because they have more time to make up for any mistakes and have more time to build up that money. But if you're maybe younger, or you have everything set, you're not struggling, you could be a little bit more aggressive. And if you have the time, I would suggest you do something like stock, real estate, one of the lending websites. Those will give you higher reward, but then again, there's also the higher risk. So that's why aggressive usually comes with younger people. If your risk tolerance isn't as high, or you just, you want to just go the safest route possible when it comes to investing, something like a CD or a bond would be better for you. Investing in rare metals such as like gold. Gold will most likely continue to increase in value over time. You could always use robo-investors, something like Betterment or Wealthfront. You basically put your money into, and you'll have a robot investor invest into what it feels is best for you. So you could actually set your risk tolerance. So if you're young, it'll actually ask you questions, but if you're young, it'll put you as a higher risk tolerance. If you're older, or you just don't want to take the risk tolerance, you'd go to like 1, 2, or 3, which are the lower risk tolerance. And you won't see as great of gains, but the minimum, the losses will be at a low. And you don't have to do all the work yourself, It usually takes like 1% or something from whatever you make. When I first started, I personally dabbled in a little bit of everything. I did my research on all the different investing processes and thoughts and ideas. I tried a lot of them out. I made some money, I lost some money, but I was able to weed out what was right for me and what wasn't right for me. And I think everyone, if they have the time, that might be the best process for you. But if you don't have that time, still do your research, and then maybe instead of trying everything out, cut it down to like the top 3 that you think are best for yourself. All different investing methods will have their own pros and cons, whether it be how safe they are, the rewards they could bring, how liquid the product is, which basically means how quick you could get your money back. So something like a big name stock, you could get your money back that minute. You know, you sell it, you have your money back. The websites such as Prosper and Lending Club, your money's in there for 3 to 5 years. Once you put it in, you're most likely not getting it back, and if you do, it's going to be at a high loss. You're not going to get it back till that 5 years is up, you know? So all different investing methods will have its pros and cons. So do your research, ask people you know, read books, watch videos, subscribe to my channel, you know, ask me questions, leave a comment, or instant message me. I said instant message me, just message me. And take your future into your own hands. This is something that's good for everyone. I highly suggest anyone to do it, no matter your age. If you're 15, look, learn. If you're 50, look, learn. I mean, the younger you start, the better it will be for you. But just because you're in your 60s, 70s, that's not a reason not to invest. You can still make income from it. You can still make money from it. Just because you're 14 and you might not have a lot of money, that's not a reason not to invest. You know? Take your future into your own hands. Build something with it. Learn something, because this is going to stay with you for the rest of your life. I know a lot of teachers in school said, hey, this will stay with you. This will stay with you. And none of it did. Learning and investing, once you learn how to do it, that will stay with you for the rest of your life. So as always, hit the like button if you learned something new. Comment if you have any questions, and let me know what type of investing you want to start this year. And subscribe to continue seeing my new videos. Help me out, help yourself out. Let's take this journey together. Anthony out.